very quickly bring in Dr. Subramanian Swamy this afternoon. Dr. Swamy, nice to see you again. It's been a bit of a while. I just want to quickly ask you, goalposts are being now very cleverly changed because Sanjay Hegde has come out and said in court that, look, let's not look at whether the hijab is essential to the practice of the faith, but in fact, let's look at whether the state has the power to issue such orders. Why do you think this change is taking place there?
I don't know what change that stands for, but you see, we have had this problem on almost every issue of Hindu-Muslim. In the Ram Janmabhoomi case, they said you can't touch a mosque. It's our where we pray to Allah, etc., etc. But ultimately, a constitutional bench has said that it's not an essential part of Islam. Hijab is certainly not an essential part of Islam. If it was, then there are so many women. In fact, in our parliament, we have Muslim women who come dressed in sari. They don't wear any hijab, nothing. So would they be declared as people who are violating the religion? So you can't yield on a matter which is not fundamental to your religion. And therefore, the Karnataka government is doing the right thing. There is we have a right to prescribe, which doesn't interfere with their fundamental rights. And this doesn't interfere with their fundamental rights. And so therefore, they must do it. Or they can go and study somewhere else where hijab is allowed. But as far as the government schools are concerned and private schools which take government money, certainly they will have to obey the fact that the hijab will not be allowed.
Very interesting. Dr. Swamy, I want to ask you this question because there is an educational society in Kerala. It's the Muslim Educational Society, or the MES. Now that basically said that in our institutions, both here in India and internationally, there is no need. We don't want anyone to wear any body coverings which are not prescribed by the uniform. So when a Muslim Educational Society from Kerala can pass such a ruling, why is it being opposed then in Karnataka, Dr. Swamy?
I think in Karnataka, the Muslims didn't have the kind of position they have in Kerala, I suppose. They are trying to, by this, consolidate and create a Muslim community who would be electorally very united. I don't know what the reason is, but it's totally out of date. I mean, you can't say I have freedom to have wear hijab. Tomorrow you can say I can come in bikini to class. You can't object. If you feel excited by me, then you're the responsible. I'm not responsible. So this, there's a limit to this. If something is not a fundamental interest, a fundamental right, it doesn't become an essential part of your religion. I think the state has every right to regulate it in the way they think is in their public interest.
Priyanka Gandhi Vadra says, since you use the word bikini, she says bikini, burqa, let the choice be with women. Whatever they want to wear, they should be allowed to wear it.
Well, he doesn't go to college, so therefore he wouldn't know what the value of college is. You see, you can't, they're in every part of society. You have certain dress codes which are done with people don't make a fuss and go along with it. It's there in the military, there's there in the civil servants, there's there in what dress you wear to a party. All these things, you see, we do it silently. This is being deliberately done, and I think the government of Karnataka should stand firm because this will lead to something else later on.
Well, the Attorney General is saying that stick to the uniform. AG says that the hadith must be treated as a secondary source, not as a primary source. Nowhere in the Quran is it mentioned expressly the word hijab to cover any part of the body. It was always referred to as a curtain or a partition.
No, even Quran mentions it. It must say that every Muslim must wear hijab. And that is an essential part. There's no such thing anywhere. If a masjid cannot be an essential part of Islamic religion, how is it part of your body?
Okay, that's very, very interesting. I want very quickly, Dr. Subramanian Swamy, for you to address two questions. Number one, that India is becoming a Hindutva state and that all of this is part of some Hindutva overdrive launched by the BJP government at the center, number one. Number two, that this entire diktat is denying girls a right to education, denying them the right to enter a classroom, and that this is apartheid.
Well, the second one is ridiculous. We are in fact freeing the Muslim women from being chained like this. Tomorrow they will say you'll have to wear a burqa and go. In Afghanistan they're doing that. I don't think we should worry about the second. See, as far as the question comes, if you can show to me that hijab is an essential part of Islamic religion, I'll be the first one to say, let them wear hijab. But there is nowhere any such thing. And the vast areas of the world where Muslims live, where they don't wear hijab, go to Turkey, go to Soviet, to Russia. If there are Muslims there, they're dressed like every other Russian. So therefore, the question of being declared as a kafir because you didn't wear a hijab doesn't arise. And this is what we call as reaction. And you know, in the Constitution, Article 25 and 26, which deal with religious freedom, fundamental right to religion, they say, but the state has a right for reasonable restrictions.
Yes.
And the restrictions on public health, on public order, on morality. So therefore, where is the question that Islam, you can do anything you want under Islam? No, sorry, you can't. And so furthermore, let's please understand, we've created a division of India and undivided India into Pakistan and the remaining part of India. Now, at that time, it is quite understood that the Muslims said we can't live with Hindus. So those who couldn't live with Hindus, they got Pakistan. The rest of them at least should learn to live with Hindus.
Okay, very, very interesting. Thank you, Dr. Swamy, for joining with us. We're hoping to see you later in the evening. And of course, over the next few days, as this matter unravels in court, the Attorney General has come out and taken a very firm stand. Thank you, Dr. Swamy. Thank you for joining us. I want to go back to Imran on the ground.